let's learn how to crochet the reverse Suzette stitch in a corner-to-corner pattern. If you're not familiar with the Suzette stitch, it's just a texture created by working a single crochet and double crochet into the same spot. The reverse Suzette stitch swaps the order of the single crochet and double crochet. You'll see how to work the reverse Suzette stitch in the tutorial. You can apply this texture to any yarn and hook combo that you want. For reference, I'm going to show this in a weight 4 yarn using a 5mm hook. Let's start by putting a slip knot onto our hook. And now we're going to set up the increases. We will start by chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we're going to put a double crochet into the very first chain we worked. So that's yarn over, insert into that first chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then to complete the reverse Suzette stitch, we also need to put a single crochet into the same space. So that's insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That is the setup for increases. Now we're going to work the same process over and over for increases. In each row of increase, we'll get an extra reverse Suzette stitch, so that double crochet and single crochet into the same spot. So for the following rounds, we will start by chaining 3. 1, 2, and 3, then we will turn our work. When we turn our work, this first stitch right here is a single crochet, because remember, when we worked row 1, it was a double crochet followed by a single crochet, so when we turn our work, the double crochet will now be to the left and the single crochet will be to the right. What we want to do is put a reverse Suzette stitch into the single crochet. So that means we work a double crochet into the top of that single crochet stitch from the previous row. So this is my double crochet. And then to complete the reverse Suzette stitch, we're going to put a single crochet into the same spot. Now, something I find to be very helpful is to put a stitch marker in the first double crochet of the round and in the last double crochet of the round. So this is my first double crochet, and I will put a stitch marker right there. Since we are on row 2, we will have 2 Suzette stitches. The last Suzette stitch is going to get worked in this chain 3 space from the beginning. So remember how we chained 4 and then double crocheted into the first one? That left 3 double crochets unworked, and we're going to insert through this loop to work the next Suzette stitch. Again, the Suzette stitch starts with a double crochet, so I'll yarn over, and then I'm inserting into this chain space here. And I will finish my double crochet. And then in the same spot, so that chain space, I will also put a single crochet stitch. That is row 2. Let's put a stitch marker in the last double crochet of the round. Right there. Now for row 3, we start by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. After chaining 3, we will turn our work, and now we're going to work a Suzette stitch in every single crochet across. So this is the first double crochet of the row, which means there's a single crochet right before that. That's where we will put the first reverse Suzette stitch. So we start with a double crochet into the top of that single crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, then in the same spot, a single crochet. So we insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to take this stitch marker and move it up to the first double crochet of the row. Then we will go to the next single crochet stitch. So we just worked in a single crochet here. That means this is a double crochet. We will skip it, and then this is a single crochet. We will work a reverse Suzette stitch into the top of that single crochet. So it's yarn over, work a double crochet into that stitch, and then also put a single crochet into that stitch. Now we are out of single crochets because this is the last double crochet of the row, and because we're working an increasing row, we're going to put a reverse Suzette stitch into the chain 3 space. So yarn over, insert through the chain 3 space, work a double crochet, and don't worry about my stitch marker, I'm just going to work right around it. and then also put a single crochet in there. So again, when I'm saying reverse Suzette stitch, I'm meaning putting a double crochet and single crochet into the same spot. Let's go over the increasing row one more time. I'm further along in the project, so this should help solidify the approach for the increasing rows. I'm going to be working row 8, which means I will work 8 reverse Suzette stitches for this row. Increasing rows always begin with a chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we turn our work. Now we're going to place 1 reverse Suzette stitch into every single crochet of the previous row. This is my first double crochet that I've marked, which means my first single crochet is to the right of it. So I will put a double crochet and a single crochet into the same spot, right here. Then find my next single crochet from the previous round and work a reverse Suzette stitch into that space as well. So double crochet, single crochet. Go to my next single crochet, work a reverse Suzette stitch. I believe this is my third one of these. Go to my next single crochet, work a reverse Suzette stitch. Some things you might be noticing is we're essentially working in every other stitch of the row because every other stitch is a single crochet. Another thing that's helpful with this pattern is we're never going to work in the double crochet stitches. So if you find yourself inserting into the top of a double crochet stitch, that's your sign that something isn't quite right. So this is my 6th reverse Suzette stitch. This is the last double crochet of the row, which means I've got just one more single crochet right before it, and that will also get a reverse Suzette stitch. So double crochet, followed by a single crochet. And now the last thing I want to do in increasing rounds is put a reverse Suzette stitch through that chain space. So when I say work in the chain space, we're not inserting through the chain stitch itself, but we're going to this whole big open cavity there. And I'm working my last reverse Suzette stitch for an increasing row. Let's learn how to work the decrease rows. The first decrease row is kind of like a setup for the decrease. This one's worked slightly different than the following ones. For this row, we will start by chaining 2, 1, 2, and turning our work. Now we're going to skip the first 2 stitches of the previous row. We've got our double crochet marked. There's a single crochet to the right of it, so we skip the single crochet, skip the double crochet, and go to the following single crochet. And in that space, we're going to work our first Suzette stitch. If you're marking the first and last double crochets from each row, when we do the first row of decreasing, we can go to the single crochet right after that. And I will work a reverse Suzette stitch into that space. So that's a double crochet and a single crochet. Now we're going to get back to working like normal, where we work a reverse Suzette stitch in every single crochet of the row except for the last one. So we're going to work across with the reverse Suzette stitch, but we don't want to go all the way to the end. We want to pause when there's just one single crochet left. So working on down this row, getting closer to the end. So each reverse Suzette stitch is a double crochet, then a single crochet. Go to my next single crochet, work a double crochet and a single crochet. And now if we look here, this is the last double crochet of the row, which means that single crochet to the right of it is the last single crochet of the row. We are not going to work a reverse Suzette stitch there. Instead, we're going to double crochet 2 stitches together. The 2 places we're going to double crochet together is the single crochet and the chain 3 space. It might sound complicated. I promise it's not as scary as it sounds. We will start by yarning over, then find the single crochet that is the last one from the previous row and insert our hook through that stitch. Then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and pause. Now we also want to work in the chain 3 space. So to do that, we will yarn over, insert into the chain 3 space, so it's going to be beyond the stitch marker. Once we have inserted there, we will yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and pause. So right here we've got 3 loops on our hook. These are kind of like 2 double crochets that we've started. Now to finish the double crochet 2 together or a double crochet decrease, we will yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on our hook. That's going to start forming the corner. When I place my stitch marker in the last double crochet of the row, it's going to be this double crochet decrease that we just worked at the very end of the row. For all remaining rows of decreasing, we will start by chaining 2, 1, 2, and then turning our work. Then we will skip 1 stitch and work our first reverse Suzette stitch in the following single crochet. This is the main difference between all future rounds of decreasing and that first setup one. This time we only skip 1 double crochet, we're not skipping 2 stitches. So again, an easy way to know where to work is work after the double crochet we've marked. And we're going to put a reverse Suzette stitch into that single crochet. So it's double crochet followed by a single crochet in the same stitch. Now we get to work reverse Suzette stitches in the single crochet that remain in the row, but once more we will not work in that last single crochet. Put a reverse Suzette stitch here. And then when we look at our next single crochet, it's just to the right of the marked stitch, which means that's our last single crochet. We will once more work a double crochet decrease in this last single crochet and in the chain space at the end of the row. Here's how we work that. We start by yarning over, inserting into the single crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we yarn over again, go to this chain space, insert through there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we yarn over and pull through all 3 to work it all together. As we keep working that process to decrease our rows, our square shape will start to get closer and closer to the corner. We're going to do the exact same process, but I want to show you these last 2 rows just to be really clear on how we finish it up. So every decreased row starts by chaining 2, 1, 2, turn our work, and then in every single crochet except for the last single crochet, we work a reverse Suzette stitch. This is a single crochet and this is a single crochet. Since we only have 2 single crochet left, we're only going to work in the first one. So put a reverse Suzette stitch into the first single crochet of the row. And then since there's only 1 single crochet left, we pause working reverse Suzette stitches. And instead we do that double crochet decrease where we work into the last single crochet of the row. Then we go past the double crochet we've marked and also work into the chain space just beyond that stitch marker. And then I'll yarn over and pull through all 3 to bring those together. I've moved my stitch markers up to mark the first and last double crochet of the round we just worked. Now let's work the very last row. Again, we start by chaining 2, 1, 2, and then turn our work. Once more, we will work a reverse Suzette stitch into every single crochet until there's 1 left. And guess what? Right from the start, there's only 1 left. So that means we're not working any reverse Suzette stitches in this last row. And then once we reach that last single crochet, which is also where we start the row, we will once more work the double crochet decrease in the single crochet and in the chain space. So that's yarn over, insert into the last single crochet of the row, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, avoiding splitting the yarn here. There we go. Then yarn over, go to the chain space, insert through there, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and now yarn over and pull through all 3 loops to finish up. And at this point you can fasten off because you've made it to the far corner of your corner to corner project. A couple quick notes on this. 1, my square looks a slight bit wonky. It can be a very good idea with corner to block it, because once things kind of get stretched out and settled in, they tend to sit better. The main culprit behind that though is those chain stitches. You may find you have tighter or looser tension than I do, and you may want to work 4 chains in place of 3 chains, or maybe only 2 chains in place of 3 chains. In my case, I tend to do chain stitches very tightly, so it might be advisable for me when I'm doing the increasing rows to work 4 chain spaces. Perhaps on the decreasing rows, I need to work 3 chains instead of 2. So if your project ends up a little bit lopsided, don't be afraid to play around with the number of chains. My last tip for this pattern, and this applies to any corner to corner, is if you're trying to use up a fixed amount of yarn, but achieve as large of a surface area as possible with the amount of yarn you're working with, corner to corner is a great option because it's very easy to know when to start decreasing. All you have to do is weigh how much you have increased and weigh the yarn that is left. Keep working increasing rows until the weight of the rows you have increased is the same as the weight of the yarn you have left. That tells you you've used half your yarn and now you're ready to start decreasing. I personally like for my unworked yarn to weigh just a little bit more than what I've worked on the increasing sections, just because I'm not very brave when it comes to playing yarn chicken and I'd rather err on the safe side. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments what projects you would want to use the Reverse Suzette corner to corner stitch on. Happy crafting!